All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to your restorative practice. Today, let's find a comfortable way to breathe. We'll have a few rounds of Nadi Shodhana to start our practice. We'll also end with Nadi Shodhana, um, which in English is alternate nostril breathing. So get comfortable if you're going to be seated or lie down on your back. If it's hard for you to breathe through your nose because it's cold season, and let's face it, a lot of us are fighting off some kind of virus that's going around, you can just imagine this. You don't have to use your hand. You can imagine breathing in through one side and out the other and just following the guidance of my voice. If you want to try using your hand, you'd place your thumb and your ring finger, I guess the crescents of your nose, and let that elbow and shoulder relax down into your body. A little bit, tilt your chin in towards your chest and press the back of the head to the space behind you. Let's take a deep breath in through both nostrils, out through both. We'll begin by closing the right, inhaling through the left. When you're full of breath, close left, exhale right. Once you've completely exhaled, inhale right. Close right, exhale left. So that's one round. We'll do 3 more rounds. Inhale left, close left, exhale right. Inhale right, close right, exhale left. 2 more rounds just like that. Inhale left, close left, exhale right. Inhale right, close right, exhale left. Last round of Nadi Shodhana, inhaling through the left. Close the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. And you can release your hand if you're using it. Allow your breathing to return to normal in and out through both nostrils. And just notice how that feels right to left. If there's one side that feels like there's more air coming in and out of, or if it feels relatively balanced from side to side, just notice. Nice, deep, slow belly breaths here. 2 more times like that. All right, so we'll do a lot of shoulder work and we'll get a little bit into the hips, but mainly we'll focus on the shoulders today. Before we do that, if you're seated with me, we're going to take a twist, and you can do that lying on your back. You can just rotate your knees off to your left side. If you're staying seated with me, let's take a deep breath in, reach the arms out and up. We're going to rotate off to the right side, right fingertips behind you like a little kickstand, your left hand to the outer right thigh. Try to stay really tall and broad through your chest and your spine. Deep breath in here, deep breath out. And if you're laying on your back, rotating with your knees off to the left side, you're just breathing into the body. Nice deep belly breaths. Either way, nice deep belly breaths. Take one more twist or one more breath on this side. And then we'll inhale, we'll come back to center, seated, reach your arms out and up. And then rotate off to your left hip, left fingertips behind you like that little kickstand, your right hand to your outer left thigh. Deep breath in, get really tall through your spine. Stay broad across your chest, open through your shoulders. If you're lying on your back in your twist, your knees are just simply rotating off to the right side. Let's take one more breath here in our twist. Nice and slow, we'll unwind. If you're seated, crawl your hands forward, come into just a brief forward fold in your seat. If you're on your back, hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock side to side. One more breath wherever you are. Okay, so we'll set up our first shape. We'll come to tabletop, hands and knees. And we'll take a variation of child's pose, which is to open the heart and get some range of motion in the shoulders. So in our vinyasa practice, we worked a lot on that this week, this range of motion in the shoulders with the arms extended overhead. And so if that feels pretty tight to you, just be gentle and aware of your body today. You can choose a prop to place in front of you. I'm going to use this thick bolster, but you can also use something like a chair or a stool or yoga blocks or even hardback books if you have them. So always get creative with the stuff you have at home in your space. Hopefully by now you have kind of like a set of props that you have nearby that you can use for restorative. I like to pad my knees in child's pose positions because we're here for a little bit longer of a time. We'll be here for about 3 minutes. Not too terribly long on the knees, but long enough to want a little extra padding. I'm looking for my timer. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right, so hands and knees, pad the knees if you want to, and then your prop, whatever you're going to elevate your hands on, like right underneath the shoulder, so you can test that out in a tabletop shape. Now we're going to walk the elbows down onto this prop and sit the hips back in towards the heels into child's pose. And then you're going to want to negotiate the length of the torso so your forehead doesn't get stuck on your prop. Because you want your forehead to relax down towards the floor below the biceps. Okay, so arms can stay straight, or you can bring your hands together in prayer pose and then bend the elbows, and you can tuck the thumbs right behind the nape of the neck. So you're trying to lengthen the forehead and the chest down towards the floor while keeping the elbows elevated. So this is a deep stretch for those triceps, the armpits. You might even feel this in the front of the rib cage, even into the whole spine. Try to relax your head, get heavy to the best of your ability, and practice patience here. It takes time. What do you do with the time? The focus and the emphasis is on the breath. You can breathe deeply in and out through your nose, all the way down into your belly. Yes, we're holding for time here. You can notice really subtle things such as where you feel sensation in your body. Like, for example, if your right side feels more than your left side, it's just something interesting to notice about yourself. You might be curious about why that is. There's like certain daily habits and behaviors that you have, such as being dominant on your right side, maybe. How you sleep patterns can have an effect on the physical body in its waking life. So this is the time to kind of just start to reflect with a sense of curiosity, not with a sense of judgment, about why your body feels the way it does. And we'll take about 4 more deep breaths here. Last deep breath. If you have your elbows bent, start to extend your arms forward. Walk back up to your hands. Find that tabletop shape. Now let's take a few rounds of cat and cow here. Take a deep breath in to drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the tailbone. Deep breath out to tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, round the upper back. Okay, about 3 times with your cat and cow. One more time. Good. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is set up a Sphinx pose, and that's going to be laying down on our belly. You might want to prop underneath the forehead, such as folded blankets, a stack of books. You're going to need to adjust that height for your neck. And you don't have to have something underneath your head. I've certainly seen people hold this shape without resting their forehead on something. This is a personal preference. So we're going to extend our legs back behind us. We're going to be laying flat on our belly with the legs straight. I like to pad underneath my ankles. That's what my blanket roll is for there at the back of my mat. And then as I lay down onto my belly, I'm going to bring my elbows forward underneath my shoulders. My forearms are making the number 11, so they're parallel to each other. My elbows are right underneath my shoulders, or if I need to decrease that sensation of back bend, I walk my fingertips straight forward. So my elbows don't get wider, they just get more straight. It's like I'm making the Superman shape on my belly now. So now I can start to play with adjusting a prop underneath my forehead. Okay, so I can just rest my forehead right down onto this bolster I have in front of me. If that is not the right height, and turn it up on its side. So adjust your props as needed. You can always add more height and take away more height. Like I said, get creative. We're here for about 3 minutes. So making sure it's sustainable for you for that period of time. And when I say sustainable, what I mean is, are you able to, first of all, breathe deep and slow? Right? So you're not in a place where you're clenching so much that you're holding your breath. And then the other thing is, where are you gripping? Where are you holding tension? Notice that too. Can you relax with your breath? I like to meditate on this idea, these two thoughts. On a inhale, I like to practice inviting in space. Imagine I'm breathing in more space, more light. On my exhale, I imagine breathing out, letting go of tension, letting it rest. Getting more relaxed with each exhalation. For the last minute here, if you'd like to intensify this, you can, but make a wise choice. Only you know what your body is going to handle best. And sometimes that takes trying it to figure that out. Okay, so if you want to add on to this, you want to intensify, take your feet a little bit wider, take your hands a little bit wider. So my fingertips are turning out to the upper outer corners of my mat. pressing into my hands. I'm lifting my elbows, so I'm straightening out through my arms, and I'm coming up into seal pose. The key here, or the intention here, is to let this be about the spine and see if you can relax the shoulders down the back. Keep this out of the neck. Try to keep the pelvis on the floor. So trying to move this more into the upper back. Path of least resistance here would be the neck and the low back, because those are the most mobile parts of our spine. So that's where the back bend's going to want to go. And so if it's feeling like too much there, you just release those elbows back to the mat. Come back to Sphinx pose. Let's take one more breath wherever we are. All right, now we're going to pause. We're going to come out of this. Just simply stack those hands right underneath the forehead. Take your elbows wide. Rest your forehead down on the backs of your hands. Get nice and long through the back of the neck. If you want a little bit of a release for the low back, you can bend your knees and just sway your feet side to side. That can feel quite nice on the low back. All right, let's bring our hands underneath our shoulders. Press up to tabletop and then all the way back to child's pose. We'll just take about 3 breaths here in child's pose before we transition into our next shape. One more big breath in. Big breath out. We're going to turn around and lay down on our backs. I'm going to keep my bolster here at the top of my mat, and I'm just going to turn it horizontal now because that might be nice for my forearms to rest on, because we're going to extend our arms overhead. And make banana pose or half moon. It's like a crescent moon shape on your back. All right. So we're laying down on our backs. Arms extend overhead, and if you want to take a peek at me here, my forearms are resting on that bolster. And then we're going to start to wiggle the shoulders off to the left, so we're creating this big, huge stretch along the right side body, the lateral body, the outer border of your body. Try to stay grounded through both your shoulders and your hips. And we're going to walk those heels off to the left as well. So start to feel that a little bit lower, maybe down into the hips, maybe the low back. Option to cross the right ankle on top of left, or even left ankle on top of right. I like that better. It feels a little bit more stabilizing for my hips. You certainly don't have to have a prop underneath your forearms. You can just rest them on the surface of the floor overhead. But if that range of motion in the shoulders, like when you reach your arms all the way overhead, if the range of motion isn't there, that's why we add the support underneath the forearms. So I like to think about it this way. I'm just adding props or support in between where there is space between my body and the floor. So for you, if that's your right elbow, your right forearm, add some pillows or blankets underneath that side of the body. Again, you're not trying to come into a twist. You're coming into a lateral side body stretch. So our chest is staying open towards the ceiling. Our hips are staying open towards the ceiling. In essence, you're flat on your back. It's totally okay to bend the elbows and grab opposite forearms or opposite wrists. Do try to get heavy in the bones. Breathe deep into your belly here. Just try to relax for the next couple of minutes in this shape. We'll be here for about a minute and a half more. I'm always surprised by how little I need to do in this shape, meaning I can just slightly move my shoulders off to the left, slightly walk my heels off to the left. And the longer I stay, the more sensation I feel just by going into this 20% of what I could do if I went, you know, with my full range of motion. So I find that in longer holds, backing off and letting that slow melting, that slow relaxation of the shape itself take over my body, it sometimes will intensify the longer I hold it. I don't need to force myself into a shape too far. The intensity comes with holding it for time. There's something to explore and think about for you. Take one more breath here. And then we'll walk ourselves back to the center of our mat and relax our arms down alongside your body as well. And just take a moment here. Anatomical neutral. Big breath in and a big breath out. Okay, so we'll set up our second side. Inhaling, extend those arms overhead. If you're going to use a prop underneath your forearms, you just want to adjust it off to the right side of your space so that when you walk your shoulders off to the right, your forearms can rest there just as easily. And then you can add your heels, walking your heels off to the right. If you want to play with crossing an ankle left over right or right over left, see how that feels. Where do you feel it? What feels most sustainable? What feels best? Such a fine line between effort and ease with these shapes, and you do want a balance of both. A little bit of effort to get into it, to fine tune it, to find your edge. And then can we relax the muscles? Can we relax any gripping in the body? Yes, there will be some sensation, but a reasonable amount. What can you breathe into? What can you sustain without adding extra stress? Returning to that deep belly breath over and over again. Take one more breath here. Start to slowly make your way back to center. Seeing your arms and pause. Anatomical neutral. Couple more breaths here. Let's start to bend the knees, hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little low back massage by rocking side to side here. And we're going to take a twist. If you want something underneath the back of the head, like a shallow pillow or a folded blanket, that can be really nice and supine twist. Okay, if there's a twist that you want to take, feel free to take it. I'm going to walk us through figure four twist. So we'll take figure four, right ankle to the top of the left knee. Okay. Walk your left foot off to the right side, your left foot off to the right, and then tip your figure four off to the left. So you're keeping your figure four, you're just tipping it off to the left. So the outer edge of your left leg and the sole of your right foot are on something solid, such as your mat or a prop. You could spread your arms out wide, big, broad breath into the chest and into the belly. Few minutes here. We'll take about 4 more deep, slow belly breaths here. Nice and slow, start to unwind out of this shape. Shift your hips back to the center of your mat. Hug both your knees into your chest. Give yourself that little rock side to side. Set the feet back down with your knees bent. Left ankle to the top of the right thigh. Figure four, second side. Heel toe that right foot off to your left side. So again, your right foot off to your left side. And then you're tipping your figure four off to your right. So your outer right leg, sole of your left foot, in contact with something tangible. That might be the floor, And if that's too far away, if that rotation doesn't happen all the way, you're adding props underneath your body to support it, right? So get in the habit of searching out those places that need a little extra support to find these holds sustainable. Take a deep breath in, deep, slow breath out. Get nice and heavy in your body. Trying to maintain that chest open towards the ceiling. Relax the jaw, the teeth, the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists. About 4 more deep breaths here. All right, now we'll slowly unwind out of our shape. Bring your hips back to the center of your mat. Hug your knees into your chest one more time. If you'd like to, you could take happy baby. You can reach up for the feet or the backs of the calves or the knees. And from here, we're going to set up for our final rest, 1 minute shavasana, followed by 3 rounds of Nadi Shodhana to close out our practice. And I always recommend elevating the feet above the heart. If you're ever short on time and you can't come to restorative and you just need like a little nervous system reset, a little boost of energy for your day, try to get your legs up the wall or elevate your feet above your heart for like 5 minutes. Of course, longer if you have it, but 5 minutes matters. It does help. As today we're going to take 1 minute in Shavasana. Try to get there as quick as you can. And let it go, let it rest. Shoulder blades down the back. Deep breath in through the nose. Audible exhale through the mouth. Using the jaw, the teeth, the lips, the gums. Flesh around the eyes. A space between the eyebrows. Relax. So feel free to stay on your back. You can do mental alternate nostril breathing from there, or you can start to rise up to a comfortable seated position and join me, placing your hand with your thumb and your ring finger against the crescents of the nose. So 3 rounds of Nadi Shodhana. This time, we're going to close the left nostril and inhale through the right. So begin when you're ready. When you're full of breath, close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left. Exhale right. 2 more rounds. Inhale right. Close right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close left. Exhale right. One last time. Inhaling right. Close right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close left. Exhale right. Let that be the last exhalation for the right side. Releasing your hand if you're using it. Breathing normally in and out through both nostrils. Just taking a moment to pause and reflect on how you feel right now. Left palm flat against the heart, right palm stacks on top. We bow our chin into our chest to honor our practice with reverence and gratitude. Taking a moment to thank all of our teachers, past, present, future, and most importantly, to the teacher within your own heart. Namaste, yogis. Thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed your practice. And always welcome any questions if you have them. Please take care of yourselves and try to come back as soon as you can. Thank you.